Cyberpunk 2077, man. It has been an absolute hot mess since its release. Like, people are experiencing issues, crazy bugs and glitches, textures not loading in, frame rate is just absolutely awful, and this has specifically happened on last gen consoles, PS4 and the original Xbox One. It is struggling bad, and like the first almost minute of the video just kind of proves that people are experiencing major bugs and glitches, game breaking bugs and glitches. Really, some people are experiencing issues, specifically on PS4 and Xbox One. People are experiencing issues with, frame rate and resolution and textures not loading in and just a bunch of other stuff, man. And it's something that's completely unacceptable. So I'm going to take a little look back on Cyberpunk 2077 and the questionable acts of CD Projekt Red. So to start off here on Game Rant, it states down here on this part of the article, developer CD Projekt Red did not allow reviewers to try the game on any of the consoles, limiting every day one review to be based on a PC. This led to a lot of skepticism in regards to the game's performance on consoles, especially the current gen ones. Well, I consider them last gen consoles now, but that's aside from the point. While CD Projekt Red didn't show any gameplay footage of Cyberpunk 2077 on a base PS4 and Xbox One before launch, it did assure that the game's performance on these consoles is surprisingly good. Okay, so it turns out that CD Projekt Red did not want anybody to see the base PS4 and Xbox One versions of the game gameplay before the game came out, right? They only wanted people to see the PC version, which obviously, the PC version is going to look the best, it's going to be able to run the best. It's hopefully not going to have as many game-breaking bugs and whatnot as consoles do, right? But that is one thing that, CD Projekt Red decided to do. Later on in the article, it states, Digital Foundry's Tom Morgan also shared some insight on the game's current status on PS4 and Xbox One. According to him, Cyberpunk 2077 on PS4 runs between 720 to 900p resolution, with a frame rate dipping down to 20 in big city areas, sometimes even to 15 FPS. Add to that some bizarre hiccups when a new object or texture has to load. All of these issues make Cyberpunk 2077 in its current state utterly difficult on current gen-based consoles. Although CD Projekt Red has not addressed these issues specifically at this time, it did reassure fans that the team is hard at work on some upcoming fixes and updates for the game. Now, this article was actually released 6 days ago, so, of course, CD Projekt Red has actually came out and made a statement regarding, the PS4 and Xbox One version of Cyberpunk 2077. So, an article now on the New York Times, Cyberpunk 2077 developer apologizes and offers a refund for game glitches. This is going to dive a little bit more deep into the current situation with Cyberpunk 2077. The company behind the long-awaited video game pledged to fix the bugs and crashes after complaints from players poured in over the weekend. Yeah, start a video, remember, plenty of bugs and glitches in the game, some of which could be considered game-breaking bugs and glitches. The maker behind Cyberpunk 2077, one of the year's most highly anticipated games. Actually, you could consider it one of the, past couple of years' most highly anticipated games, right? It's been in the works for a long time now. People have really been looking forward to this game, and I don't blame people for looking forward to this game because of the way that CD Projekt Red, hyped this game up. People were really, looking forward to this game. They're going to be like, yeah, CD Projekt Red is a pretty solid company. I know they're going to give me a pretty solid experience. So, I'm really looking forward to this. Anyways, though, on Monday apologized and offered refunds to players who were disappointed in the game's performance after days of complaints over glitches and poor visuals on some platforms following its release last week. They ended up coming out and they have a statement up on their Twitter page, and it states here, Dear gamers, first of all, we would like to start by apologizing to you for not showing the game on base last-gen consoles before it premiered, and in consequence, not allowing you to make a more informed decision about your purchase. We should have paid more attention to making it play better on PS4 and Xbox One. Second, we will fix bugs and crashes and improve the overall experience. The first round of updates excuse me, has just been released, and the next one is coming within the next 7 days. Expect more, as we will update frequently whenever new improvements are ready. After the holidays, we'll continue working. We'll release 2 large patches, starting with patch number 1 in January. This will be followed by patch number 2 in February. Together, these should fix the most prominent problems gamers are facing on last-gen consoles. We'll be informing you about the contents of each patch ahead of their release. They won't make the game on last-gen look like it's running on a high-spec PC or next-gen console, but it will be closer to that experience than it is now. I mean, yeah, if you patch a game from PS4 and Xbox One, it's not going to look like, I mean, especially towards like high-end gaming PCs, you're not going to get those same visuals, right? You're not going to get like those same high frame rates. So I mean, that's kind of expected. Finally, we would always like everyone who buys our games to be satisfied with their purchase. I don't know if that's necessarily true now after seeing what they released. Anyways, we would appreciate it if you would give us a chance, but if you are not pleased with the game on your console and don't want to wait for updates, you can opt to refund your copy. For copies purchased digitally, please use the refund system on PSN or Xbox respectively. Now this is where a big problem is going to come in. I'll explain later. For box versions, please first try to get a refund at the store where you bought the game. Should this not be possible, please contact, blah, 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 and we would do our best to help you. Starting from today, you can contact us for a week up until December 21st of 2020. Alright, so we come up to The Verge. I was explaining, I was going over the whole refund system, right? There's an article up on The Verge as well as IGN that discusses the whole refund problem that's at hand right now. So The Verge states here, it's not as easy to get a Cyberpunk 2077 refund as CD Projekt Red suggested. Our procedure here with Microsoft and Sony is not different than with any other title. So we can read the article here. CD Projekt Red has confirmed it has no special refund agreement with Microsoft or Sony, despite saying dissatisfied players should return their copies of the game. In a statement, it means players are covered by both platforms' standard refund policies, which, in the case of Sony, explicitly prohibits refunds if you've already started playing a game unless the content is faulty. The confirmation came from the company's Senior Vice President of Business Development, Michael Nowakowski. I don't know how to say that. Microsoft and Sony have refund policies for every product that is released digitally on their storefronts. Despite several articles I've seen that things are being set up just for us, it's actually not true. These policies are in place and have always been in place. They're not offered specifically for us. Anyone who has purchased any title on the PSN or Microsoft storefront can ask for a refund, and if it's made within certain boundaries, usually related to time, usage, and so on, can ask for that refund, he continued. Our procedure here with Microsoft and Sony is not different than with any other title released on any of those storefronts. So, this is the issue with Sony's quote-unquote refund policy. The reports were notable since Sony's official rules about refund state. If you have started to download or stream the purchased content, you will not be eligible for a refund unless the content is faulty. Microsoft's rules, meanwhile, don't specifically mention not being able to refund a game after you've started playing it. Instead, they outline a 14-day window after purchase in which a customer may be eligible for a refund. In a statement, a Microsoft spokesperson says, "We provide digital game product refunds as part of a consistent and reliable buying experience." For more details on our digital game purchase refund terms, please visit our Xbox support page here. To request an Xbox refund, please follow the steps listed on our Xbox refund page here. For any further questions on Cyberpunk 2077, please reach out to CD Projekt Red. So see, we go back and we look at Sony's refund policy. If you've started to download or stream the purchased content, you will not be eligible for a refund unless the content is faulty. Yeah, the content is faulty, and there have been some people who have claimed that they can get a refund from Sony. I haven't heard any issues with Microsoft. I've heard issues specifically with Sony. Some people are claiming that they did get a refund or they can get a refund from Sony. Others are claiming that Sony is not allowing them to get a refund on a game that is considered faulty. Here on Reddit, as a matter of fact, we got a dude on here saying Sony is issuing refunds even after or even past the 2-hour playtime for digital games. If you file a refund claim and talk to a representative. So he's saying, I had to file a support claim online and sit on hold for over an hour to speak with someone. However, they were quick to issue the refund and then delete the game off of my library. The lady I spoke with, Carly, also said that Sony is issuing a business complaint to CDPR or CD Projekt Red about the issues, and I wasn't the only one to call in today about refunds. So, some people on here were calling him out saying that, he was, this was a bunch of crap and he's lying, but he's actually got a screenshot here that I looked at, and it states here, PlayStation Network, this was for Cyberpunk 2077, $65.54. That's going to obviously, the price is going to be a little bit different depending on, tax and whatnot, where you live, whatever. PlayStation Network, he got his money back. So, it turns out that he may have possibly got a refund for, Cyberpunk 2077, and that's good to hear. We go and we look at the IGN article, and this is where things get a bit messy regarding this. Cyberpunk 2077 dev promised refunds it couldn't actually guarantee. So, in the wake of performance woes for CD Projekt Red and older generation consoles like the base PS4 and Xbox One, CDPR promised players that they are eligible for a refund if they're not satisfied with the performance of the game. The only problem is actually getting a refund. So, on December 13, the official Cyberpunk 2077 Twitter account posted up a message. We've kind of already went over all of that. Okay, so we go down here, and there's actually a link to a tweet regarding a guy who was simply trying to get a refund for Cyberpunk 2077 because of the issues with the game. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to read over everything regarding this dude's tweet. So here we go. So today's update, Sony support released another refund for Cyberpunk 2077. They said even if the devs say refund it, they won't do it. Lied about the game not being broken and lied about what CD Projekt Red stated. Too long don't read. You are stuck with a broken game. Wait till patched. Some support. So he's got a few, pictures laid out here. And these pictures basically show that Sony, or at least this agent that he is talking to, is not allowing refunds. So he states this: thank you, and I understand it's stressful for you all as well. This is a widespread issue, and with devs saying get a refund, I can only imagine the load you all are getting right now. According to our records, the content has been downloaded/streamed. I'm sorry, due to restrictions outlined in the PS Store cancellation policy, a refund cannot be made for this transaction. Even if the developers and publishers said we all are eligible for a refund and reach out, because they acknowledge it's a broken game on PS4, and at least they're acknowledging it, right? And we need to get refunded. I'm sorry, it may be really frustrating to you. I request you to please understand, and according to our policies, the content has been downloaded/streamed. The content cannot be refunded. The game literally no longer boots. After the newest patch, your own policy states if it's faulty, we get a refund. The game is faulty and broken. It literally does not work any longer. This is your own policy. So we go on, right? It states here, and even the devs and publishers said they will honor all refunds. Just reach out to you. You still won't honor it regardless. Your own policy stating I am entitled to a refund, and devs saying the same. So I even provided you the link to the statement saying their refunds, saying all refunds on PS4 will be honored. I'm sorry, I request you to understand that because of content being downloaded, it does not qualify for refund. It's a broken game. It doesn't even launch. Your own policy outlines this faulty. If it launched, I wouldn't seek this out, but it's not launching. If you can't do anything and not even follow your own global policy, redirect me to someone else. This is frustrating that even your own policy published and developers are saying I'm entitled to a refund, and you are just trying to quote a policy where I quoted back at you. It makes no sense. I apologize for the inconvenience as the content has been used. A refund request cannot be made. It does not work. You can reword this any way you want, but it's faulty content by your own policy. I am eligible for a refund, and he is exactly right. He is eligible for a refund. I hate Sony's refund policy. It's a bunch of crap, man. Please redirect me to someone who will help. You might not be able to who I understand, but if your own policy says it's faulty, the devs and publishers say the same thing, and they all say I'm eligible for a refund. I need my refund. So if you can't help, please redirect me to someone who can. She states, I'm sorry, I understand your frustration. I really don't think she understands the frustration. Give me a moment, please. No, you really don't. Your own policy says all employees follow the same policy, yet it's not being honored. I've been seeking this out since yesterday because the game does not boot even after a fresh install. So he's not getting a refund even though the game is faulty. What are you doing, Sony? Sony, whenever it comes to refund policies, man, you are just an absolute load of bullshit. I hate your stupid fucking refund policies. I don't care that I have a PS5. You know, I don't care that I supported you by purchasing your console. I'm still going to call you out on what I see as bullshit. And this is bullshit. There should be a refund policy. Do something like Microsoft is doing, man. The Xbox refund policy is solid. I love it. It's great, and I have nothing against it. It would be something that people could consider pro-consumer. If you just, implement a refund policy. If I go out and I purchase a game and the game doesn't fucking work, I would like my money back. This is faulty content because people are experiencing game-breaking bugs. People are experiencing issues, where the game just won't load up or, things like that. They want their fucking money back. Give them their fucking money back, man. So, we come to Kotaku now. Cyberpunk 2077 execs say they ignored signals that the console versions they hyped were in rough shape. Yes, they were in rough shape, alright. So, we can read on here. It's clear by now that Cyberpunk 2077 is a bit of a disaster. That's a light way to describe it, especially on consoles. During a recent conference call with CD Projekt Red's group's management board, executives say that they knew the game was busted before its December 10th launch. CD Projekt Red president and co-CEO Adam Kinski, I hope I pronounced that correctly, opened a presentation to investors yesterday with comments about the giant cybernetic elephant in the room, Cyberpunk 2077's performance on consoles. The game launched way below expectations. He also said, going on to say that management had ignored the signals, that more time was needed to make Cyberpunk 2077 was ready for the base PS4 and Xbox One platforms. It was the wrong approach and against our business philosophy. On top of that, during the campaign, we showed the game mostly on PCs. We definitely did not spend enough time looking at PS4 and Xbox One performance. So, when asked why Cyberpunk 2077 wasn't shown on the PS4 and Xbox One before the release, the co-CEO explained that they kept the console version from the public eye due to working on the game right up to release. The reason we didn't show the game on PS4 and Xbox One is that we were updating the game on last-gen consoles until the very last minute, and we thought we'd make it in time. Unfortunately, this resulted in giving it to reviewers just one day before the release, which was definitely too late, and the media didn't get the chance to review it properly. That was not intended. We were just fixing the game until the very last moment. Look, man, you can come up with these stupid excuses all you want. You can. But that doesn't change the fact that you released a broken game, man. I know that this game, has been delayed numerous times. But the thing is wouldn't it just be better to just, wait it out, to delay the game again? I wouldn't care, man. I would not mind at all. This is a game that I was really considering picking up on launch. If I had the cash, I probably would have picked this up on launch. But I'm glad that I held off. And I'm waiting. I didn't jump the gun, even though I know this game, was super hyped up and it's super good. And, it was supposed to be super good at least. I know on PC, at least on PC, I've not heard any complaints. But on console, I've heard numerous complaints, specifically on last gen. But I'm glad that I decided to hold off on picking this game up. I think I may wait a little while. Maybe wait till the game goes down in price somewhat before going out and picking up a copy of the game myself. This is just inexcusable, man. They should have simply waited. Delay the game again, man. Delay it again. You won't have to face this much backlash. You won't have to face this backlash, and you can release a solid game. A good game. You won't have to face backlash or any problems. People will get the game. They'll be able to actually experience it the way that you intended for them to experience it. And they would be fine and, they'd be happy. They'd be all hunky-dory. But what you guys done was something that's completely unacceptable. And according to an article here on Games Radar, apparently the cost of fixing Cyberpunk 2077 is quote-unquote irrelevant compared to restoring company reputation. Okay? CD Projekt Red discusses the future of the company in a new emergency board call. So this kind of goes over the same thing that we were reading over on, the Kotaku article. But, it states here, when asked about costs of patching the game on consoles, Michael Nowakowski, I don't know how you say that, my apologies, member of the board for publishing, said, the cost of patching the game is irrelevant compared to what we have at stake at the moment. So there is no question about it. We definitely want to fix the game. We made our promise to gamers, and we will be doing everything to stick to it. So just simply with this statement, the game, fixing the game is completely irrelevant. They just have to fix their reputation. Jesus, man. This game is just in an absolute world of hell, man. This is something that is just so damn unacceptable, and then hearing these scummy things that these executives are saying, it just makes it so much worse, man. It just makes it so much fucking worse. This shouldn't have happened. Delay the game again. What's another few months or even half a year gonna, spend more time on the game, bro. I don't think that another few months, I don't think that another even half a year is going to matter, as long as, whenever you push it out at that time, that is actually a good game, right? And you're not going to have people experiencing major issues. Hell, I would have been fine with waiting even longer. I would have. But now it just turns me off, and it turns consumers off from even going out and purchasing the game because of the negative things that they're hearing about it. If you released the game and it was getting a lot of positive, press, I feel like that would actually benefit you more than what you kind of done here, because people will be like, oh man, this game, people are saying it's good, it looks good, game looks good, gameplay, I don't see any, major complaints about it. I may go out and purchase this game because I know it's going to be, the game of like this generation, right? And the game of 2020 or 2021, if they decided to delay it. You guys get the point, right? But yeah, just hearing all of this and seeing all of this, man, this is just a load of crap on CD Projekt Red's part. They knew that the game was broke, and they decided to release it anyways. They're going to come out with a patch later on to fix the issues that shouldn't have even been in the game to begin with. At least most of them, I know whenever you release a game, at least this big, there's going to be major bugs and glitches and whatnot, but it shouldn't be to this extent. You know what I mean? Like, I get that whenever you release a big game like Cyberpunk 2077, people are going to they're going to experience, glitches in the game, issues in the game. But whenever it comes to issues and glitches and whatnot to this extent, no. If it's basically to the point that you can't play the game, you can't even load up the game, or textures are not, loading in properly at all, resolution is just absolute crap, and then you're not even getting at least 30 frames per second. No, this game should have been, optimized more. They should have worked on it longer. I wouldn't have cared, man. All of this is unacceptable. Sony with your stupid refund policies. CD Projekt Red coming out and saying that you can get a refund, but Sony not allowing the refunds. The game just not working. The game just not even, you're not even able to boot the game up. Like, just so many issues with this game. This game had so much potential upon launch. And then they decide to release it, and we'll fix the bugs and glitches later on. It's something that's completely unacceptable, man. It's something that shouldn't happen. And first off, Sony, fix your refund policy. Secondly, CD Projekt Red, you shouldn't have released this. You should have just held off on releasing it. This game is just an absolute train wreck, man. Like, it's just in a bad spot. It makes me also think back, it actually makes me think of a quote from God of War. Okay? I remember reading up on how this game is doing, and this quote came to mind. Kratos said something like, keep your expectations low, and you will never be disappointed.
Just some stupid pots and Draugr. No magical treasure, and no whetstone.
Keep your expectations low, Prey, and you will never be disappointed.
And I will be honest, with how much this game was hyped up, I believe that if I didn't allow the hype to get to my head and actually kept my expectations low, then I mean, I wouldn't have been disappointed in this game, because I would have, you know, been prepared for this game to be absolute trash, but I wasn't. It's just shitty what's going on. My apologies to anybody who's had any sort of negative experience with the game. I hope you're able to get a refund, because what happened to you and what happened to the millions of other people who bought the game, it's bullshit. So thank you all for tuning into this video. If you guys enjoyed, please go ahead and smash like. It would be super greatly appreciated. I love you all. Stay beautiful. Do not go ugly on me. And I'll see you all in the next one.